Hello again. We're moving on to a little bit of a complicated topic. Compound events, that's basically when one event happens and then another event happens. So it's more than one single event or an experiment happening. This is the fourth lesson in our unit, so let's get started. Let's define some things just like we always do. Compound events are basically just multiple events that make up a single trial. So if the outcome of one event doesn't affect the outcome of another event, then the events are called independent. Otherwise, they're called dependent because the second outcome actually depends on what happens in the first outcome. So let's talk about independent events. Let's say a coin is tossed and a die is rolled. Well, the outcome of the coin doesn't really affect the outcome of the die. They're independent from each other. Okay? And so each outcome has a probability of 1/12. So each probability for the coin has probability 1/2. Each outcome for the die has 1/6. So if you multiply those fractions, you get 1/12. So if two events are independent, then you can simply multiply the probabilities like I just did, and you will get the probability of both events happening. And you can do three or more by doing the same thing. If there were three events that led to one outcome, then you could multiply those probabilities together. And it works for four or more if they're all independent. Dependent events are not that simple. So let's say that a marble is taken from a jar of 5 blue and 3 yellow marbles and it's not replaced. That means it's not put back into the jar. Well, the probability of drawing a blue marble in the second trial depends on what you actually pulled in the first trial. If the first marble you pulled was blue, then now you only have 4 blue marbles left and you only have 7 marbles left total. So the probability that the second marble is blue is 4/7. Whereas if you didn't pull a blue marble on the first pull, then you'd still have 5 blue marbles in there and you'd again have a total of 7 marbles in there instead of 8, which you started out with. So the probability that your second marble is blue is going to be 5/7. So you can see just by a simple experiment that if you do something like don't put the first marble back, then the probability of your second pull is going to depend on the color of marble that you pulled out the first time. So that's kind of an introduction to independent events versus dependent events. If you have any questions on that, please let me know, and I will see you tomorrow.